don't aren't educated. You're not educated.
That's fine. Fuck you.
And that's fine. Let them. They have that freedom of speech, you guys. They have that opportunity, the same as every other Canadian in this country. You guys all have that right.
You're English. Go back to England. You're not welcome here. You're not welcome here. Go back to England.
Go ahead.
You're not welcome here. You're not from here. You're not from here. You're a foreigner. Go back to England. Go home, goof.
Well, after thousands of kilometers of driving through frigid February weather, the pro-pipeline protests known as the United We Roll Convoy has finally brought their message right here to the doorstep of Justin Trudeau. And these people, they don't want an EI check or a welfare check. They just want a paycheck. And unlike the mainstream media, they don't want a handout or a bailout. They just want government to get out of the way so that these guys can get back to work and make the oil sands great again. Well, I'm with Kathy Monteith. She's all the way from Peace River, Alberta. Kathy, what brings you down to Ottawa on this frigid February Tuesday?
Basically, I've been in the oil patch for about 20 some years. My husband, I'm a welder, certified journeyman. My husband's been in the patch for same thing, roughly about 20, 25 years. And we're sick of seeing the economic decline and the loss of jobs, people losing their homes. And it's not just today. This happens every couple of years. We need to build that pipe. We need to turn around and make sure that our loggers are taken care of. This is for everybody that goes from flipping burgers to turning around and being a white hat in Suncor. Everybody's on board when it comes down to this. Everybody needs to be united, and we all need to stand as one and voice our opinions. It all starts with honestly taking down the people that we're all mad at, and they're right behind me in that big rock building. We need to stand up. We need to be as one. We need to get the words out. We're not for violence. Obviously, you guys, you see this all here. Everybody's equal. We're Canadians and we deserve the right to be here.
Certainly you're crystal clear on your messaging, but to the Trudeau Liberal regime in power right now, does this mean a proverbial hill of beans, or is it going to be business as usual? I guess what I'm asking is, do we need regime change in Ottawa before you get tangible results?
Yes. Yeah, no, down with Trudeau, plain and simply. He needs to go. He's not listening to us. He's busy worrying about everybody else in the country that's big money and not listening to the average taxpayer. I pay taxes every year, just like every single one of these you guys see in that convoy.
I'm with Guy Annable. He's part of the Ottawa Yellow Vest movement. And Guy, what brings you out to Parliament Hill today?
Well, I saw some, by the way, you do great work on Rebel. I'm a huge supporter, David, and thank you very much for coming down today. The mainstream media is painting us as racists, and I'm just here today to basically support the movement, but to tell all the Canadians, Yellow Vests are working people just like you and me who want three things. We want to get our oil resources to Tidewater. We don't want any more carbon taxes. We can't afford it. It is a tax that does nothing to reduce greenhouse gases and just fills the government coffers. And yes, the UN migration cap is another issue. There's so many issues with this government. And with the resignation of Butts yesterday and the falling dominoes that we're seeing right now, David, I think we're really seeing the fall of the Trudeau Liberal government, because this is proof positive today that people have just had enough and we can't afford to pay anymore. He says one thing and then he does something totally different. He buys a pipeline for $4.6 billion and then signs a bill so that pipelines can never be built in Canada again.
And Guy, when it comes to the immigration issue, I guess there's a very clear distinction between being anti-immigration and anti-illegal immigration, and I guess your critics tend to blur those lines and depict you as xenophobic or racist or what have you.
You exactly exemplified what the mainstream media is trying to do and is successfully doing to the Yellow Vest movement in Canada. We are working hard Canadians that want to see Canadians taken care of first and have one queue for immigration and have orderly immigration by the government we elected, not by an unelected UN body, and not signing it away. And a lot of countries did not sign the UN compact. Australia, New Zealand, the Five Eyes, a lot of them didn't sign it, but of course Canada signed on. David, we're very concerned. It's becoming unaffordable to live in this country. We've got a government that's got globalist views and globalist, where's it going to end? The whole world's upside down, David, and I'm just getting too old, I guess, for it, and I'm glad I'm on my way out, but the future is young, and we've got to get these kids to wake up. This globalism is not the path. Look at Venezuela. Canada will be Venezuela with snow in 5 years if Trudeau is re-elected. I guarantee it.
Well, and with Steve, he's come all the way from Calgary to Parliament Hill, and what brings you out here today, Steve?
Well, it was a movement. It was just coming out here to unite Canada together to show that people out there are supporting oil, they're supporting resources. They want it done, and our government's just stalling. Why would it take 10 years to do a pipeline, approve it, and get her done? It's hard to believe.
It is indeed, and you've made several stops along the way, of course, from Calgary. What has been the reaction that has greeted your convoy at the various towns along the way?
It's been overwhelming. Every 3 to 5 miles as we drive, someone is standing in their driveway. They bring their children down. Their house might only be 100 feet away, but they're standing in the driveway to greet us. A lot of towns are calling up. They've got food, they got hot soups, coffee, sandwiches, and these are just the average person wanting to participate, wanting to see this go ahead. So it's just overwhelming, the support. When you pull into the towns, they're all, they're standing there waving flags, Canadian flags. And I started coming out here not really knowing what the Yellow Vest movement was all about. These guys are great. They've been on our bus. We brought the bus out from Calgary. They've been on the bus, and just watching them and how they're supporting it is amazing.
Well, as you can see, folks, not everybody coming to Parliament Hill today is pro-pipeline. Here we have a group. One of the main signs says, "No pipelines, no fascists." Another sign says, "No one is illegal." Well, I guess that is on point as far as this government is concerned. We'll try to speak to some of them and see if they can articulate why they are indeed against pipelines in Canada. So, ma'am, why are you against the pipeline?
You can fuck right off, rebel.
Pardon me?
I'm not talking to your outlet.
You don't want to talk? Okay, then. How about yourself, sir? Why are you against the pipeline? No? You can't articulate your point? Or? Get the fuck out of here. Oh, okay, then. Well, we try, but I guess when you ask these people a question, they just can't articulate why they are against what they're against. What is really incredible when you see members of Antifa with the hammer and sickle flag, I mean, how many millions of people have died under these kind of regimes? I mean, why not bring a swastika along with you too? And that's the thing about Antifa, it's shorthand for anti-fascists, but they're not anti-fascists, they're fascists. They shouldn't be called Antifa, they should just be called FA.
Crackhead! You're all fucking crackheads! Clearly you guys are all on crack! You're all fucking on crack! Look at your faces! You're crackheads! You are clearly crack smokers! All of you!
No consent! She's no pipeline!
Well, get a job and start paying for gas!
You know, another irony that is lost on Antifa is that while they're against the oil sands, just look at all the products they use that are made from the petrochemical industry. Cell phones, cameras, polyester jackets, backpacks. So yeah, they talk a mean game, but when it comes to walking the walk, not so much. I also love this part where we try to, sir, would you like to? Sir, would you like to say what you wanted to say to me, or just stick your sign in the camera?
I'm just going to stick my sign in your camera, thanks.
Okay.
Yeah.
You can't articulate your point?
Not to you.
Okay, well, I guess I win the debate then. If you can't say why you're here, I guess you don't even know why you're here then, sir. See, it's just the same. And here we have the head of the goon squad. Sir, why don't you take your burqa off and we can see who you are? Take your burqa off. Oh, you can't hear? Don't understand English? How about these guys? Now the guy that told me to F off 10 minutes ago suddenly doesn't understand English. Funny that. Must be the weather.
Coming together.
England will take you back. Go back to England. England will take you back. You're migrants. Go back to England. Go home. Get out of our country. Fuck off. Fuck you. Shut up.
We can go to a sandbox and fight, or we can stand on Parliament Hill.
Go back to England. Go back to
You guys
England.
can absolutely have your mic if you want. You have that right.
You don't need a mic. You don't need a mic.
The guy's
I would love to sit down with any one of you
Shut
guys
him
and
down.
talk about this.
Shut him down. Fuck him.
Talk like grown-ups.
Fuck you.
And that's what you answer with because you
Let's
don't
fight.
aren't
Let's
educated.
fight.
You're not
Let's
educated.
fight. Fuck you.
And that's fine. Let them. They have that freedom of speech, you guys. They have that opportunity, the same as every other Canadian in this country. You guys all have that right.
You're English. Go back to England. You're not welcome here. You're not welcome here. Go back to England.
Go ahead.
You're not welcome here. You're not from here. You're not from here. You're a foreigner. Go back to England. This is my home. This is where I live. This is my living room. How can we stop you? How can we stop you?
Like this for us?
It was easy for us to stop you.
Shut up.
It was easy for us to stop you. No, we won't listen to you. Fascist! Shut up! Fascist!
Love it.
So this fellow here is saying go back to England,
Bring it on.
and his buddies are brandishing signs that say no one is illegal.
And the global news
Does not
and
compute.
the CBC News want to paint a picture
You're a
of you guys.
migrant. Go back to England.
Painting a
You're
picture
not
of you
welcome
guys.
here.
Trying to
That's
show
why
that
we
the
stopped
people
you.
are divided.
That's
We're
why
not.
we
We're
stopped
asking
you.
to fight more than you can understand. And if you paid attention to anything on social media lately, you would understand that this country is absolutely in love with this movement. And we are getting our voices heard all the way across Canada. And if you guys don't think that's happening, it's happening. It's absolutely happening. It's been a beautiful experience all the way across.
Who are the Jews against fascists?
We ran point the whole way. We followed the laws. We exercised our right. We exercised our right to protest.
Well, we have a
Politically,
we have a hysterical woman here saying Jews against fascists,
divided.
and I can't understand the words she's saying, but I'll try to talk to her.
You guys can be
So who are Jews against fascists, ma'am?
unify this country as a
She just wants her sign to do the talking. Yeah, this is funny. This fellow is calling Rebel Media anti-Semites. I think our founder is Jewish. Again, does not compute. You know.
I'm not in control of that. Do I look like I'm in control? Your mother's looking for you.
Well, I'm with JP. He's an Ottawa resident, and JP, you were telling me off camera that you're part Native, and that when you see Native allies to Antifa making these protests, it's a little embarrassing for you, isn't it?
Well, of course it's embarrassing. We have Native people on their land they were put there by the government, secluded from other regions. They don't have drinking water that's proper to drink. They don't even have decent places to live in. And here we have Native people demonstrating for the government against us people here that are trying to do something to make everybody's life better.
And it should be noted too, JP, that in addition to the water issue, we know that there is a critical mass of natives right across Canada that are pro-pipeline. These are great jobs. These are stable jobs, assuming these projects get the okay. So, in a way, if you're against the pipeline, you're against natives bettering themselves.
Of course it is. I mean, a lot of natives do work on the pipeline. The pipeline is good for all Canadians. Right now, we're bringing oil in from Saudi Arabia on ships, which is worse, and then shipping it by train, which is a lot worse than a pipeline. You very rarely see a pipeline disaster, but you'll see ship disasters, you see train disasters. Opening up our pipelines here is great for our economy, great for creating jobs, which we are losing jobs here in Canada. Government people are losing jobs to the new people coming in illegally because we are not looked at. When you apply for a job here, you have to be a visible minority, then you get a job first. Our pipelines are our people, our native people that worked hard all their lives to be on there, and now this is taken away from us for Saudi oil to fill up somebody's pocket, obviously. I don't understand what they're doing here, demonstrating against the Yellow Jackets and the Convoy.
And that was indeed my question, JP. What is the agenda of those natives that are, I guess, anti-progress, anti-good jobs, and they just want the cycle of poverty on so many reserves to continue?
I think the younger generation has gotten used to that, to doing nothing, not helping themselves, and they don't want to do anything. They're satisfied with what they have. The generation that's a bit older wants to better themselves. The younger ones I don't even think they want to work. And it's not just the young natives, it's the young people here of Canada. You see all these people here. They don't want to work. Most of them live in mommy's basement. They're going to be called home around 12 o'clock to go for lunch, and they'll all leave like they usually do. But they create violence. They're more aggressive than any demonstrations I've been at. The Antifa has been the violent one. And I think, actually, I don't think we should bother with them. I think we should just push them away because more and more they are a minority. This movement is growing very fast, and we will be recognized more and more here.
We're trying to unite this country. This isn't the East against the West. This is about all of Canada. And we got to get all our resources to market, whether it's oil or gas or anything else. And that's why we're here today. And I'm glad everybody came to show their support. You guys got to give yourself a round of applause because we can't do this without everybody else behind us. All we are a couple hundred people coming through here, but to unite everybody in this whole country as one, that's what this is all about. So that's all I really need to say other than united we roll. United we roll! United we roll! United we roll! United we roll!
In the final analysis, if the ostensible strategy of the United We Roll convoy was to send a vociferous message to the Trudeau Liberals that discontent is rife in the oil patch thanks to endless pipeline paralysis, well, just label this particular protest as being mission accomplished. However, in the bigger picture, as the rigs head back west from Ottawa, will anything really change for the better in the oil sands when it comes to the anti-oil philosophy that is inexplicably embraced by this federal government? Sadly, no. In fact, matters might potentially get worse if Bill C-69 and Bill C-48 are ratified. Bill C-69 would replace the National Energy Board with a new Canadian energy regulator, and it would create an impact assessment agency to measure how best to mitigate environmental impacts from proposed developments. Translation: many in the oil industry say these new layers of bureaucracy will only lead to confusion and delays when it comes to future pipeline projects. Meanwhile, Bill C-48, aka the Oil Tanker Moratorium Act, would put a stop to crude oil tanker traffic on the British Columbia North Coast and prohibit oil tankers carrying crude and persistent oil as cargo from stopping, loading, or unloading at ports in northern BC. Neither bill is good news for an oil industry that is already licking its wounds, all of which means things will only truly change for the better in the oil patch if there's regime change in Ottawa. And we'll just have to wait another 8 months to see how that pans out. For the Rebel.media, I'm David the Menzoid Menzies. Hey folks, you can hear all Rebel shows as a podcast. Go to the Rebel.media/listen.